Good day everyone, I am Villegas Chumariel and together with my partner Miss Andrea Mi Ferolino, we're going to discuss about the approaches, methods, and techniques in teaching mathematics. So the first approach is inquiry approach to be discussed first by Miss Andrea.
Good day, ma'am. Good day, classmates. So, I am Ferolino Andrea Miingkutan. So, the first approach is inquiry approach. It is a pedagogical approach that invites students to explore academic content by investigating and answering questions. So, when we say pedagogical, it is the combination of teaching methods. So, inquiry approach engage our natural curiosity and desire to make sense of the world. So teachers encourage the students in asking questions and seeking of answers to those questions through investigation and exploration. So next is inquiry, defined as the process of looking and creating information or knowledge by means of question. So when we say inquiry, teachers use this approach by creating information through questioning. So through questioning, the knowledge of a student will be more. So next is, what is inquiry-based learning? In inquiry-based learning, teachers use questions, problems, and scenarios to help students learn through individual thought and investigation. So, teachers use this approach through questioning, problems, and scenarios because makatabang ni siya sa students to give their own idea in that certain problems, question, or scenario. Through that, they can improve the critical thinking of the students. So next is the 5 characteristics of inquiry-based teaching approach. So first is process focus. When students solve problems themselves, they internalize conceptual processes. Inquiry-based teaching prioritizes process over product. So when we say conceptual processes, it is a crucial brain function for humans. It comes from concept or else abstract ideas. So, by focusing the lesson of their teachers in every discussion, the students' knowledge will be more processed. So, the next characteristic is investigation. The teacher may pose a problem, derive the class content, or student's question. So, the students then investigate uses to find and answer. So, ang teacher mohatag og problems based sa mga questions sa students. And by that, investigahan sa students ang mga problems or issue and by that, through their investigate, makakuha ra sila og solusyon sa mga issue or problems. Third characteristic is group learning. So, students may work in pairs or in a small groups when exploring problems. Students assess one another throughout the learning process, which enables them to share build upon ideas as well as articulate how they arrive at a solution. So, through groupings, diya makalearn ang students by sharing their ideas and thought. It gives the students opportunity to engage in process skills, critical for processing information and evaluating, and also solving problems as well as management skills through the use of roles within in the group. The fourth one is discuss monitoring. As the students work together, the teacher can move from group to group listening to their discussion. So teachers may ask questions to gauge students' understanding and correct any misconception. So ang teacher mag-monitor siya in every group kung na-discuss ba jud ang tagsa nila. It is important that each students will share their ideas in a group so that para magkakaton sila kung unsay thought sa ilahang classmates or sa uban nila nga classmate. And then, ang teacher mo ask questions while nag-monitor siya sa mga students to know kung unaa ba jud sila nakatanan or para masakto pod kung unsa la may ilahang dili masabtan. Characteristic is real-life application. Students solve math problems that have meaningful life application. For example, a teacher may present multiplication problems as an interesting story. So, Brittany has 2 bags of candy. Each bag has 4 candies inside. How many candies that Brittany have altogether? So, in that certain problem, dira magbulong og solution ang mga students Then pag magbulong sila og solution in that certain problem, dira mag-process ang ilang critical thinking. And then next is teacher guided inquiry. So teacher may wish to focus less on math computation and more on helping students determine which pieces of information are useful and how the information applies to the real world. Teachers can develop students' understanding of the topic with guided inquiries. Through asking questions, ma-develop ang understanding or thinking sa mga students about in that certain topic. And it is important that we teachers guide them in the classroom and every task that we give. So that if kung na sila wala masabtan or dili ma-solve is imo silang makorek or matabangan. So the next is there are the four types for teachers in using inquiry approach. First is think about what you want your students to know or do before class. Next is start with one or more overall guiding question. The third is inform students that there are multiple ways to solve a problem. The fourth one is model how students can develop their own importance of inquiry approach. Inquiry enables students to learn through curiosity, discovery, and collaboration rather than being presented with facts through direct interaction. An inquiry approach encourages students to ask thought-provoking questions, investigate widely and deeply. So, true curiosity sa mga students is diya makakat or makadiscover ang mga students og new information. So, maka-encourage ni siya sa students ang inquiry approach because through asking question, ma-process ang ilang critical thinking.
So the second approach is called process approach. Process approach to learning and teaching mathematics is characterized by experiential learning, discovering and exploring mathematics through mathematical and life challenges, and by developing reading learning strategies at the integrating activity of learning and teaching. So when you say process approach, it is about processing or evaluating the students after discussing the new concept or the lessons. So the main idea of process approach is a concept of process. So when you say process, it is a set of interrelated or interacting activities that use inputs to deliver an intended result. So a process is when you are discussing a new lessons or concepts, after that you're going to give or assign activities or tasks to the students to evaluate if na ba sila nakatunan sa imuhang gidiscuss nga lessons. So the process approach was divided into two. First is a simple process approach. So when we say simple process approach, it is about developing the student's level of comprehension and knowledge or memory. So kaning simple process approach is katulad na siyang mga simple food nga activity nga pwede nimo ihatag sa students to develop their level of comprehension or kung nabas sila nasabtan or para ma-enhance ang or na sila makuhang new knowledge or ma-enhance ang ilang memory. So for example, identification, classifying, inferring, naming, and listing. So these are the activities nga pwede nimong i-apply when using the simple process approach. So the second one is complex process approach. So it is about developing the students' higher order thinking skills. So it means nga in using this kind of approach, kailangan kag mohatag itong mga activities or thoughts nga required og analysis, evaluation or need nga magamit sa ato ang brain to analyze the certain activities para sad ma-develop or ma-enhance ang mga skills sa mga students. So for example, summarizing, analyzing any data, experimenting, evaluating the lessons, and reporting. So these are the activities nga pwede nimong i-apply in using the complex process approach in order to develop the students' higher order thinking skills or ma-enhance silahang mga skills. So let us proceed to the third approach in teaching mathematics, which is cooperative learning. So cooperative learning is an educational format that is useful in many strategies in teaching mathematics. In this format, students work together in a small mixed ability groups to achieve a particular goal or to complete an academic task. So in cooperative learning, students work together in small groups or a structured activity. They are individually accountable for their work, and the work of the group as a whole is also assessed. So cooperative learning groups work face to face and learn to work as a team in order to achieve a particular goal or to complete a specific task given by the teacher. So this strategy serves the following purposes. Number one, to increase achievement through group collaboration that enables students to learn from each other. So the purpose of cooperative learning is para ma-increase ang learnings or ang achievements sa mga students through collaborations or working each other. They do sharing of ideas, thoughts, or they do brainstorming. And through that, the students can also learn from each other. So next is to provide an alternative to the competitive structure of most classrooms today that discourages poorer students. And also, one of the purpose of cooperative learning is para walay malif behind or no students will be discriminated since they need to work collaboratively as a group or team. Number three, to improve human relations in the classroom, promoting interdependent activities that teach collaborative skills. So, since the main content of cooperative learning is positive interdependence, that promotes students working collaboratively in a group to share ideas and support success. So from that, students can also promote or have a healthy interaction or relationship inside the classroom. So cooperative learning is appropriate to use when, number one, the task demands collaborative effort. So you need to use a cooperative learning when the task is kailangan siya collaborations with the students. So number two, the open-ended problem-solving activity calls for clarification and a range of strategies for the solution. So you need to use cooperative learning in answering problem-solving activity para sa dili maglisod ang mga students. So, number three, the sources are limited. So, you need to use cooperative learning when the resources are limited ra siya para sa dili kalas. And then next, roles of the teacher and the learners in cooperative learning. So the teacher takes on these roles. Number one, act as a facilitator by forming groups whose members work together on shared groups. So ang teacher mo siya ay facilitator. So number two, plans the tasks and explain them about the goals of each task to the students. So ang teacher mo siya mo explain sa mga goals before proceeding the activity. So number three, monitors the groups, provides assistance, interviews whenever necessary, and evaluate the groups and the students. So the teacher should be the one who will monitor and give assistance to the students. And after the students in doing the activity, so the teacher should evaluate the groups or the students. And then learners take on the following roles. So number one, give and receive assistance, feedback, reinforcement, and support each other. Number two, take responsibility for each group member's learning as well as for one's academic success. Next, the five common formats used for cooperative learning are the following. Number one, student teams achievement division or STAD. So the teacher presents content or skill. Students complete common tasks in groups and then tested are individually. Individual students' improvements, performance are calculated to get team score. So, individual ang ilahang paghimo sa task but as a group ang score. Second, think, pair, share. Students first try to work out the task by themselves. Then they form pairs and interact and discuss their thoughts with each other. Finally, they share their understanding with the class. So the students form pairs or by partner ilang pagbuhat sa task, and then after sharing the thoughts by pair, they need to share their understandings in front of the class. Number 3, jigsaw students are assigned to themes. The academic material is divided into several sections. The members of different teams who have studied the same sections meet in expert groups to discuss their sections. So, katong parehag mga sections, kailangan nilang mag-meet para mag-share sa ilahang mga ideas about the sections. Then the students return to their teams and take turns teaching their teammates about their section. So, after meeting the other groups, kailangan silang mabalik sa ilahang teams para discussan ang ilahang teammates. So, number 4, theme-assisted instruction. Students are assigned materials at their own achievement level and are assisted by their group members in learning the material. Group points are obtained through improvement on individual tests. So, each member shall assess the other member, and then group points ang ilaha dya pong ma-obtain ani nga specific nga task. So number 5, group investigation. Students take responsibility for their own learning as each group decides what to investigate, what contribution each will make, and how each will communicate what they have learned. So each member of the group shall participate in doing the investigation. The next is the structure of cooperative learning. So the following are the steps in implementing cooperative learning. So number 1, of course, the planning. And then number 2, preparing the students. Number 3, monitoring and intervening. Number 4, evaluating and processing. So the last is kailangan nimo siyang evaluate and i-process ang mga tasks na gibuhat sa mga students. So those are the 3 approaches useful in teaching mathematics. And these are our learning exercises or activities.